hit the accept then.
Here?
Yeah. And then got it.
All right, Rockport, Fulton, America. We are live coming to you from SR Boyle House for the Pirates Cove Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Walker. Joining me as always, my twin brother, Rob Walker. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Living the dream. Great to be here, Rick.
Glad to have you as always. And joining me also, special guest, the man who put all this together in the beginning, Gabriel Trevino. How you doing tonight, Gabriel?
I'm doing good, Walkers. I'm doing good. Thank you for the invite.
Glad to have you. We got a great show for you tonight, guys. We're gonna break down the Cuero game. We're gonna preview Ingleside, and then later on, Steve Cantu will come on as a guest as well to talk about the Youth Football League here in Rockport, Fulton. Got to make sure Fulton's in there, baby, especially us Fultonites, right, Rob?
That's right.
So as we kick the show off, obviously we're coming to you from SR Boyle House Pirate Night. We invite you to come out. Great place, great food. Just had some wings. They're fantastic. Had a boudin. The food here is great. The atmosphere is fun, family friendly, dog friendly. They even got games up here, and the service you can't beat it. So come out and join us. Support our sponsor, SR Boyle House, that allow us to bring you the games Friday night and bring you these podcasts. So kick this thing off, Rob. Headline: Rockport Fulton Pirates fall to Cuero in a tough matchup this past Friday night. Talk about the game, if you will.
Yeah. So one of the toughest matchups we knew coming in. Cuero's always a really talented team. They proved that out. They've got depth, they've got size, they've got speed. They're going to compete for the district championship, likely to be decided by them by many people's mind next week as they face off against Sinton, or this week, against Sinton. So the Pirates' play, I think, was pretty solid. Fantastic start, offensively and defensively. Executed on both sides of the ball, moved the ball down the field. Hal scores on a boot keep. He carries out all the fakes in the slot T and did a great job carrying it out. No one was out there, and he outran the safety for the first touchdown, which really got us off to a great start. Back and forth football game against an opponent that runs up tempo. They go fast, they line up quickly and run the next play, and they try to catch the defense off guard. There were a couple of times that they were close to that, but I think overall it creates a fatigue factor, which was for their favor. Second half, we really struggled to execute offensively, moving the ball. Defense did a nice job to start, but just couldn't get enough stops at the end, and then there was a late score that put the game out of reach. Ultimately, I think for us, it was a solid game. I really liked the game plan offensively, attacking the outside, the inside, and then creating balance with the occasional throw here or there. We knew they were going to try to make us throw the football, and they did that a few times. We were successful a few times, but there were a few times that we weren't. Turnovers, penalties, again, caught us early in the second half, and I think that netted what was the difference in the ballgame. Two really competitive football teams. I would say Cuero probably has a little advantage speed-wise. I think they had the best player on the field offensively for them in Walker Dietz, who made several really nice, I won't say spectacular, but close to spectacular catches. There was one over the shoulder that was incredible. And then credit Coach Jared Fikach for really doing a nice job protecting his sophomore quarterback who's spelling the starter. His second varsity start really set him up in a series of plays that allowed him to be successful and do what he does really well. So kudos to them. I would love to see us continue to improve and maybe in the playoffs get an opportunity to face them. Hint, I do believe these Pirates will make the playoffs. And so something to talk about here as we move in the broadcast here.
Yeah, look, spot on. The turnovers were a big difference. There's several times we got penalties that got behind the sticks, which with this scheme, that's not what it's designed to do, right? The whole point is to stay ahead of the sticks, second and short, third and short type situations. And we got, and especially in the second half, a few times we got third and long, fourth and long, and then we turned the ball over as well. So that's the difference in the ball game. Walker Dietz was impressive. Some of those catches you could probably make because you're spectacular like that as well. But he was a talented guy, and Pirates did what they could. And I think we do a few things different once we see them again in the playoffs. I mean, that is the hope. Actually, I got to sit down with Coach Souza and Coach Black today in the Coaches Show podcast, and we talked about that. And they want another shot at that green and white team. That's what they told me, and I get it. The other thing too, and I hate to do it, but the officiating was not the best. And to be honest, that's been a common theme all year. I've seen some calls that blow my mind. Right, so. Hopefully we can see that go away and improve the rest of the way, rest of the regular season and into the playoffs. But, tough matchup, tough game. They were big, they were fast, they were strong. And we came out, we stopped them quickly, not on the first 3 and out, but 6 and out, right? They got 3 more plays and then we forced the punt, got the ball, drove down, scored, and jumped out on them in the first quarter. And, went into half competitive ball game. And it was 22 to 14, I think, heading into the fourth quarter. And and then it kind of got away. And I think that's where the penalties and the turnovers really put us in some bad spots. And it seemed like Cuero was going into from our 20 over and over. I want to say 3 or 4 different times. And a few times the defense held strong, right, holding them to field goals. They tried to kick 3 field goals, missed 1, made 2. But at the end, that's what got away. I think home field advantage played a part of it. I think the officiating played a part of it, and then you got the turnovers and the penalties. You combine that, and you get the result, right? We want them again, and I think to be honest, I think they were surprised. We surprised them with how good we were, how physical we were, how fast we were, how well we blocked, how well we tackled. It was a good ball game. Bottom line.
I agree, and what I would add, we'd never make excuses for the Pirates, right? But there were 2 turnovers, one in which we ripped the ball out that they called the ball carrier down. We watched the replay, he wasn't. And then there was a throw Hal made that they called or ruled a fumble, and his arm in watching the replay were definitely going forward. So that's 2 turnovers for them. And as we've always said, you got to be 2 touchdowns better on the road. And those 2 turnovers that shouldn't have been or were, one was for us, one wasn't in our favor and should have been. So to me, that could have changed the outcome of the ball game pretty dramatically.
For sure. But hey, listen, there are no moral victories, right? At the end of the day, it's the scoreboard. It's the first district game. We've got 3 more to go, and or 2 more to go. Excuse me. It's going to be fun, and a big one coming up this Friday night, which we're going to talk about. But before I do, I want to recognize our offensive and defensive player of the game. Happens to be the same guy, which is why I'm bundling them together. Our SR Boylehouse offensive player of the game is Trevor Garcia. Our SR Boylehouse defensive player of the game is Trevor Garcia. He's a multi-tool, if you will. You can put him anywhere. The bottom line, he's a great football player. He leads this team, tackles well, runs well, catches well, covers well. I mean, if you need him to do it, if I had a job I was hiring, he would be a great fit because he's a plug-and-play player. Shows up every Friday night with great effort and leads the team. So kudos to him. Appreciate the effort. And obviously we're going to need that as we continue to go through the rest of district play. So our SR Bullhouse offensive and defensive player of the week is Trevor Garcia this week. So with that being said, let's move into preview in Ingleside, which is why we got the man next to us, Mr. Gabriel Trevino, joining us because he calls the games and does the podcast for the Ingleside Mustangs now on the NPND network. Mustang Pride Never Dies, which that's the last time you're going to hear me say that on a Pirates Cove podcast, that's for sure. But let's jump right into it. Before I get to Gabriel, Rob, talk about these Ingleside Mustangs. What are the Pirates in for as Ingleside comes to visit us?
Yeah, I think they're in for another really tough matchup of a quality football team that's 5-2 on the season. They have 2 tough losses that I would say. One they should have won, and one they faced a really high quality opponent. They lost to Beeville, and I think they should have won that football game. And given them a little more time, I think they would have won that football game. And then they lost to a Brownwood team at a neutral site here in Bernie, and Gabriel was at that game. He'll tell us more in a minute. But ultimately, they gave up a lot of points through the air. They're led by Coach Travis Chrisman. He's in his 2nd year. He did come from Bernie champion, which lined up for them to play that neutral site game here. So as we go into the 2nd week of district, they come in 1-0 in district, 5-2 overall. I would say they're They don't have a lot of depth, but they're a talented football team that's big, fast, and strong. They returned 7 on offense and 7 on defense from an 11-2 team that went to the regional semifinals last year. Really good team, but they lost their 3 key players offensively. And I think going into the start of the season, they were unsure what they were going to have offensively. I think they knew they were going to be stout on defense, and that's proven to be true. They only give up 21 points per game on defense. They averaged 33 points per game, and they had a return player come back to them in their quarterback, Sawyer Chalk, who is a dude. And he's going to be the key player that the Rockport Fulton Pirates are going to have to stop. They're a zone read spread team, so you're going to see them spread the field. They'll make a series of either quick throws or they'll throw the ball deep. You won't see a lot of mid-level passing going on from them. And when they do run zone read, Chalk is their key ball carrier. He wears number 3. He's about 6'1", 200 pounds. He's big, fast, physical, athletic. You're going to have to get him on the ground, and if you don't, he's a big play waiting to happen. On the edge, he's got help in wide receiver Jordan Smith, who's back. This is the brother of J.C. Smith. Overall, really good player, similar to his brother. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Aiden Jacobson throwing the ball, so that's a benefit to the Pirates, but it makes it a different threat for Chalk on the ground. They also have number 13, Javier Solis, on the edge. Those are their 2 go-to weapons. But Jordan Smith is a dual threat. He's their Swiss Army knife, if you will, Rick. He plays defense in the secondary. He's a really good football player back there. And then they have a linebacker, safety, number 15, Isaac Freeman, who's a really good football player as well. He's a veteran. And you're going to notice their big defensive line as well, right? So they're strong up front, athletic, very physical, maybe the most physical team we've played thus far overall. And with proximity to Rockport, the dislike is probably going to be there. And so I think we're going to really see and feel that in this football game. I think they've really overcome the loss of their trifecta or 3-headed monster on offense last year, scored 72 of their touchdowns. They found offense in Chalk and other places. They play really sound defense, and it's going to make it a really competitive football game, Rick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they lost 78% of their offense from last season. Points and yards, 78% graduated in 3 kids. So it's impressive what they've been able to do this season. I'd say that they're better than what I thought they were. And at this, let me bring in Gabriel Trevino here to talk about these Mustangs. Obviously, you've been there for the games. You've seen them in action. What are your thoughts on Ingleside?
I'm really impressed with their defense, Rick and Rob. I was concerned a little bit. I thought they were going to run by committee. So I thought that they could move the ball, running the ball. I saw a couple of scrimmages where I saw them do some good things. Defensively, I didn't know what they were going to have. And that's been the impressive part to me is their defense. Isaac Freeman, as you mentioned, number 15, he's the stud. I mean, he's a stud. He's everywhere. When he's around the ball, good things happen for the Mustangs. They also have number 52, Javi Solis. He's another stud there, 52, 15. And then that D-line there, 66 in the Hosa and a couple of other guys. It's a good unit. It's a real physical unit that they're going to hit you. They're not scared to be physical with you. And they're going to bring it every game. That has been, I think, what has kept us in games, and we haven't been able to score. You talk about the Beeville game that we lost that I thought we should have won. It was the defense that kept us in that game. They scored on some special teams, but they scored on the defense toward the very end. But it's that defense that's been good for Coach Chrisman all year. They showed up every game all year, except with Brownwood, where we turned the ball over. We got behind early on, and I think they just wore us out against Brownwood. But outside of that game, we've been very good. Offensively, like you talked, Chalk is the man you got to stop. He's a stud. The read option has been great. I think he's gotten better every week, and I think he's getting more comfortable. They threw for over 300 yards in this game. I know that is something that we've been wanting to do. And so it was nice to see that. And their playmakers are Smith and Solis. When they get the ball in their hands, if they find a way to get the ball in their hands, great things happen for the Mustangs. So overall, I've been really impressed. I think they've gotten better every week. And the other thing is a lot of their players do go both ways though.
Yep.
And so that is something. The conditioning has gotten better, but that is something of a concern for any coach. But outside of that, they played great all year, and I think Sawyer has gotten better. And I think the better the pass game, the better this offense is going to be. It opens up the run. So been very impressed. I think this is going to be a really good game, Rick and Rob. I think it's going to be very competitive. I had my podcast with Coach Chrisman earlier today. And I told Coach, I said, Coach, I think this is going to be very competitive. It's going to be a good one. And it's going to be very, very competitive. So I've only seen Rock. It's the first time I'm going to see the Pirates live. I've seen through the games through your streams, but love it. I think it's going to be good, and it definitely need to come out to Pirate Stadium and check out the game.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, you know, the relationship Ingleside Rockport has always been kind of you know, it's not the Shrimp Bowl versus, you know, Ranzis back in the day, but it's a competitive matchup, right? And it's definitely the team you don't want to lose to. Them and Senton are probably the two teams you don't want to lose to the most. And so should be a game, a fun game, I should say. You mentioned that offense, and this is something I haven't seen. Both of you guys can tell me is, you know, the pace of the game by Cuero, they would go fast after a successful play, kind of try to throw you off it. And what it does, one, it wears the defense down, but two, it doesn't give them a lot of time to correct or adjust to whatever they're seeing. Is that something, no huddle? Is that something Ingleside does, Rob, Gabriel?
I have not seen that on film. Gabriel obviously has been there live, so I defer to Gabe.
No, not too much. I mean, they can, but not too much. You're going to see them. They're going to take their time, you know, and they're going to go with chalk. I'd be shocked if they go fast in this game. That's not something that we've seen before. But again, I think it's going to be very good. And I think you know, it's going to be a run game. I think Rockport loves to run the ball. Obviously, they run by committee,
Yep.
right? There's some similarities here because, you know, they don't have a one guy stud. Rockport is. They've got multiple guys, right, that can run it, and that's basically what you have from Ingleside. So I think this is going to be a ground game, pound the rock, right? And I think I think both defenses are good. I don't know which one's better. But the team that makes the fewest mistake, I think, guys, is going to be the winner.
I think that's a good call out, and the run game especially, right? It's almost crazy. They're almost the same team, except doing it out of a different offensive scheme, right? They both want to run the ball. One will spread you out to do it. The other will get down and you know, cram the box and slot to you, and then, you know, mix it up with different players. So it's going to be a fun game. We invite you guys to come out. All Pirate fans, come out to Pirate Stadium. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. We invite you out. And be loud, proud. The Pirates are definitely going to need it. Should be a competitive matchup. We need every advantage we can get. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Gabriel, what do you think? You know, and if Chrisman shared this with you, please don't share that. But you've watched them play every game. So how do you think they're going to line up against that slot T defensively? Do you think they're going to be in a 4-man front, a 5-man front? I dare say a 6-man front. Stack the box. Like what do you think that's going to look like for them?
You know, in the podcast, you know, Chrisman didn't tell me. I didn't ask Chrisman either. I do know that he's aware of the offense that Rockport runs, so it's going to be very interesting. They haven't played anybody like this offense, you know, so it's going to, for me, it's going to be very interesting to see how they play. The teams that I think we played this going to be a different offense. So for a defense like the Mustangs that have been so good all year, this is going to be a test for them to see how they handle this. And so like I said, I think it's going to be a pound the rock. And for Ingleside's defense, they want to find a way to stop that slot T. I mean, I'm from Rockport, so I've seen them have a lot of success with this slot T. But no, to answer your question, Chrisman didn't tell me. Honestly, I don't know. We haven't really talked much about the defense. We kind of talked today a lot about the offense.
Yep.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
You know, when I look at it, Rick, right, I've seen them on film. They played against a lot of spread. And so, you know, when you condense the box, you're going to have to bring some folks down. So what this looks like in the trenches, to me, is going to be what determines, and to Gabriel's point, whoever makes the fewest mistakes from a turnover standpoint. Ingleside's defense has been very opportunistic based on being super physical to create turnovers. Whether it's big hits on the quarterback who's making rushed bad decisions and they throw picks, or when they arrive to the football, they're stripping it out of there. And so the Pirates are going to have to do a really nice job of protecting the football and making wise decisions with it.
Yeah, I agree. And look, a couple things. The Pirates have faced similar schemes so far this season. The Ingleside Mustangs have not faced a scheme similar to what Rockport's bringing Friday night. So I think that's advantage Rockport. It's a home game. I think that's advantage Rockport, right? So I think there's some things going for us Pirates Friday night. But I will say our defense hasn't created enough turnovers. I'm not being critical of them. They played some really good football this season, but we haven't been opportunistic from a turnover standpoint. We've been physical. We've tackled well, tackled in space. We've done a lot of good things, but the turnover battle right now, I think it's reflective of our record. We're definitely on the negative side of the turnover margin for the season, and I think that cannot be the case Friday night if we expect to win against the visiting Ingleside Mustangs.
Yep. And Ricky, thinking through your question of do we think they'll go fast? I think Rockport has some depth advantages for sure, right? With Ingleside having so many guys playing both ways, I don't think it'd be a good strategy to go hurry up and tire themselves out, only to turn around and go right back out on defense. So I think maybe they do that before a half or at the end of the ball game, but beyond that, I don't think you're going to see them do that strategically.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think it's a similar situation to what Orange Grove was when they faced us. And you're right. I mean, if they go both ways and we can lean on them up front, I like our chances to wear them down, where in the fourth quarter, like we've done to San Diego, like we did to Orange Grove, right? Like we did to Bishop, where you're just wearing the opponent down. I'm hoping of the fourth episode of that, so to speak, as we take on the Mustangs Friday night. So anything else you want to talk about, Gabriel, when it comes to Ingleside this week? By the way, Pirate fans, it is homecoming this Friday night as well. So again, be loud, be proud, wear your Pirate gear, come support the Pirates. Go ahead, Gabriel.
No, I just invite everyone to come out, all Mustang fans, the Pirate fans definitely going to be there. It's going to be a good game. I think it's one that I highlighted early on. And watching, Rockport from, the live stream, the video, the next, like over the weekend, and then just watching the Mustangs live. I think this is going to be great. I think it's two teams that are pretty much evenly matched up, and it's going to be a good one. So you definitely want to come out, support your team, whichever team that is. But it's going to be a good football game. I also want to say they have had guys, a freshman that was moved up there, Julius Sierra. And I've been very impressed with him. He's number 7. They have, Coach Chrisman and I have talked a lot about him. He plays above his age. Been very impressed with the way this kid has played. You come in as a freshman and you kind of play for someone that's been injured, but they have a lot of trust in him. And he, to this point, is playing above his age and above his grade level. I think he's got a high IQ for football, and he puts his footprint in the game. He has an impact. So the reason I wanted to bring him up is because as a freshman, in the last couple of games, he's done some big things. His role has increased somewhat offensively and defensively. You'll see him play, or you have. So just wanted to kind of put that out there for a freshman who's really making an impact this season. It's great to see a young kid being able to play above his age.
Awesome. Well, Gabriel, we appreciate you joining us, giving the insight to the Ingleside game. And again, they will be calling the game. Mustang Pride Network will be calling the game Friday night up in the booth, and as will the Pirates Cove Sports Network. So we'll make sure we're a little louder than they are so people can hear us. But either one, we ask you to join the broadcast and be a part. Obviously, if you can't be at the game, like, share, subscribe. That's the other thing. We're trying to get as much viewership and exposure to these athletes, to these programs, to these schools as best we can. We're looking for sponsorship. So if you're interested in liking, sharing, subscribing, please definitely do that. But also, if you want to sponsor or donate, reach out to Gabriel on the Mustang Pride Network, or reach out to myself on the Pirates Cove Sports Network, and we'll take your sponsorship and get your business advertised. Whatever you want us to say, share. Obviously, we want to bring as much exposure to your business positively, just like we want to bring to these athletic programs, these schools, and these communities. So appreciate the sponsors that we do have in SR Boyle House and Spears & Co. Obviously, always looking for more. The other thing too is the playoffs are right around the corner here. One win in district play gets you into the playoffs. So the Pirates get the one win this playoffs at minimum. We're in the playoffs, and UIL requires, and this is for both networks. So I'm kind of hitting up your Ingleside network there, but that there's a $500 UIL fee that goes to them for the ability to live stream and broadcast these games. So I want you fans to keep that in mind. We're going to be looking and reaching out for sponsorship as the playoffs get near in order to continue to bring you the great live sports, athletics that we do bring you here on each of these networks. So just keep that in mind. Anything you want to add to that, Rob?
No, just I think for Pirate fans to level set, when you look at this Ingleside team, when I watch them, I see a better Hallettsville. Similar in offensive strategy, right? Running quarterback. Sawyer Chalk's a better athlete than what Hallettsville's quarterback. Not disrespecting him, but Sawyer Chalk is a dude. And then I think they have a better defense. So similar in style, a little different in execution. And out of that, I think it's going to be a really, really competitive football game. And I'm excited to see these Pirates back at home for homecoming after the great bonfire. And then, Rick, you may be on your way to talking about it, but the Rockport Fulton High School Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame event is coming up. So I know that's probably on your list, but I want to make sure it's on everyone else's radar.
It is. And so I was going to plug it before we transition over to Steve to talk about the youth. But since you brought it up and stepped all over my call, I'll go ahead and bring it up. The Rockport Fulton Sports Hall of Fame is this Saturday at the middle school cafeteria. And it's a great class. We got Dylan Conway. We got Dr. Stan Hahn, Shanna Spalding. Who else do we got? Oh, Coach Rice. How can I forget Coach David Rice? And then John Jackson, former football player for the Pirates. So great class, second class, great event. We will be broadcasting it live here on the Pirates Cove Sports Network. And you can come out and get tickets. I believe tickets are $10. Come out and enjoy it, support the program. Look, obviously we're trying to bring recognition and grow the awareness of the people who kind of laid the foundation for what we're able to do here with Rockport Fulton Athletics. So please come out and support that and tune in to the broadcast. We will be doing interviews as well. So great reminder, Rob. I appreciate it, but I did have it on here and looking forward to it. I want to thank the folks at the Rockport Fulton Sports Hall of Fame, the committee that put all that together, their hard work. I know that's not easy getting that thing started, getting it off the ground, and they've done a great job. So kudos to them and appreciate the opportunity to help support that program and what they're doing. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Cantu.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, predictions. We didn't get your prediction or mine.
Yeah, Gabriel snuck out of here because he wanted no part of the prediction. He's mixed, obviously growing up, going to Rockport Fulton High and the broadcast of Mustang Pride Network. He's not going to make a prediction, but I will. You want me to lead it off, or you want to lead it off?
You lead it off, and then I'll follow.
I agree with your assessment of Hallettsville as well. The them being a like team. I do think they are better than Hallettsville. Closer game, but I have a fast moving game, right? Two teams that want to run the ball as much as these teams do. Not a lot of clock stoppages, right? And, with our offense, a lot of 3-yard gains, 4-yard gains. And so, 2-3 plays before you get a first down to even stop the clock before the ball sets. So I think the game moves fast. So I'm going to say it's a lower scoring game, 28-21 Rockport Fulton at home. Pirates get their first district win.
Golly, we're thinking alike. So I had 27-21. And, my thing is, I agree with you. It's going to go fast. We got to tackle chalk. We got to create turnovers. And I think if we do that, we're going to win the ball game. If we allow him to break free a few times and bust long ones on runs, it could be a rough night, especially if we don't create turnovers, and they do. That's how close I think this game is. Very contrasting in styles, but both running the ball with them on the ground with chalk, swinging the ball to the receivers on the edge and allowing them to break tackles. If we tackle well, create turnovers, we're winning this football game.
Yeah, the turnover margin is going to be key. Whoever wins that, I believe, wins the ball game. Simple as that.
What do you think, Steve? What do you think?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Of course he's got an opinion, guys.
Yeah, I always going to have an opinion. I just find it very peculiar that just before we start to do the predictions that Gabriel makes exit. You know what I'm saying? So very convenient, but I understand it. Got to be politically correct. I'm not that guy. All right. I'm not binded by any laws here. So. No, I'm going to go Rockport 35, Ingleside 24. We come out of there with a double-digit win.
Nice. I like it. I hope you're right. Obviously, last week Rob actually picked against the Pirates and took a beating, but unfortunately he was closer to being right than ours. So hopefully, we're all right with our prediction with at least minimum of victory this Friday night. But again, homecoming kickoff is at 7 p.m. If you can't be at the game, please join us. And like Rob says, hey, even better, be at the game and then still have us tuned in on your phone so you're listening to us while you're watching the game. We'll try to be as entertaining and as fun as possible and keep you updated. But appreciate the viewership that we've had. It's been tremendous. The support that we've got. We ask to continue to grow. So please like and share and subscribe, please, both our Facebook page and our YouTube page, because the link will be on Facebook, link over to YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, donate, sponsor. We need it all, right? We're trying to make this thing go. And it takes the community, it takes a village to make this whole thing work. And appreciate what you guys have done so far. And obviously, the reward for hard work is more hard work, and more input is more input. So keep it up, and thank you for what you do. And with that, I'm bringing Steve in here. We'll talk about Rockport youth football.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, first and foremost, I want to say how grateful I am to share the screen with Rob here. I think it's been almost a year since we shared a streaming podcast. I think that's awesome. I'm a little nervous, starstruck a little bit, but I think I'll get through it. No, we're excited. This is our last regular season games we're going to be playing this week. Fortunately, 3 out of the 4 teams are still alive in the playoff hunt. This last week, we'll pretty much lock in seeding. Win or lose, I think we're all right, unless the score gets kind of wompy, because that is the first tiebreaker is points allowed. So unless we go out there and give up a ton of points, we could possibly come out of there with 3 out of 4 divisions making the playoffs. So we're really, really excited about that. Proud of the coaches' efforts and all the boys and the parents, man, for bringing them out to practice and hanging in there with us, because it hasn't been the smoothest year. We had some bumps in the road. You know what I'm saying? We string together a couple of losses here and there. But, overall, they continue to fight, and that's all you can really ask. So, and we're still alive in the playoff hunt. So,
who do y'all have? I'm sorry.
So we're going to be traveling to Goliad. So all teams, all 4 divisions travel to Goliad. So that's one thing that Elite, the football group that we're in, they do a really good job in making sure that all our towns travel together to the same spot. It's really difficult when you got a freshman and a senior playing, and they're playing in 2 different towns. But that's not the way it's set up. So all 4 teams travel together, and we'll be headed to Goliad this weekend.
Yeah. So first off, thank you for what you do, and thank all the coaches that do that. Right. It's not easy. It's a lot of commitment to make this go, to help develop the future of our sports programs, in this case, football. And all the moms and dads and the kids themselves, the effort and commitment that takes as well, right? None of this is easy, and it takes again a village to make this go, and that's the foundation of building the future of Rockport Fulton athletics is the youth. So appreciate those who participate, and obviously your effort with running the league and your coaches that make that go. And look, you mentioned it's been rough. At the end of the day, what you really want is kids that are getting developed.
That's right.
They're learning to be solid young men and women first and foremost, and then they're evolving and getting good at learning the game. They're getting their IQ higher of the sport that they're playing, of the position that they're playing, and then the connection with the kids and their teammates and the effort to support each other. So again, kudos for what they do. Even Rob's dogs agree with me right there. Hey, you can tell.
All right, go Rockport.
Yeah, they're cheering for the Pirates as well. But again, I thank you guys. And I thank y'all for what you do and what that means to our community and representing Rockport Fulton.
Yeah, no, it really means a lot. I mean, that is a real badge of honor that we wear, the coaches and the board members that have been around for years and years and years. We wear that proudly. You know what I'm saying? We represent our shield, you know what I'm saying, really, really proudly. And, wanting to put forth a really good effort and show that, hey, we're teaching the game. The fundamentals is there, it's being taught. And when they go on to junior high and higher levels, that they got an idea of what they're doing and everything is rolling. So I think we're doing a pretty good job. Shout out to, again, the parents, for continuing to support the league. Year after year, they come out and allow us to, groom their kids and into solid young men and women, because we do have girl football players as well. And shout out to our cheer. Can't forget about our cheer. Got an excellent cheer program. Our coaches, Amy West, Megan Garland, Julie Solis, and Amber Higgins did a great job this year with our cheerleaders. They recently competed in a cheer competition last weekend in Ingleside and placed second in the senior division, second in the sophomore division, and third place in the freshman. So, hats off to all of those girls' efforts. They did a really amazing job. We did a halftime show this weekend. They participated. They did a routine for us, and it was awesome. I have no idea how we came in second place in none of our routines, but it is what it is as a competition. And they're getting better for it. They got another deal coming up in Dallas, a showcase that a couple of our teams are going down there to Cowboy Stadiums to compete in an event that's called the Red Zones, put on by the Dallas Cowboys. And you get to play 4 games on Cowboy Field. So we're gonna have some little kids out there, beating the streets here pretty shortly after our season wraps up, because the event's in November. That's going to be doing some fundraising. And we started last week, did a barbecue fundraiser. We'll continue to do it again. The sophomores will pick up behind us and start raising money for that. So if you see any youth football players out there standing around or at a car wash, is one of the things that we got planned out, amongst other things. Go out and support those guys, because it's going to be an amazing thing, amazing event, something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. Hey, I actually played on that field, as they're sitting there watching the Cowboys with one eye open and one eye closed, to say that, hey, we played on that field. I scored a touchdown in that end zone. So that's awesome. And the cheerleaders also, they're going to be coming down there, and they get to, do their cheer routines at the 50-yard line, which is huge. So, we're excited. We're excited. We one more week into the playoffs. We're actually, the first week of the playoffs is going to be in Ingleside. And then the following week, we'll be here in Rockport. So we'll be hosting the second round. The freshmen have earned a first round bye. So we get a win this weekend, we're guaranteed a bye regardless, either because 1 and 2 seed are getting the byes. And right now we're the 1 seed. So we're guaranteed to be playing in Rockport in round 2. So we're excited about that, hosting a playoff game. And so I want to invite everybody to come out, man. Week 2. That's going to be awesome.
Perfect. Two things. You mentioned Goliad this weekend. Is that going to be broadcast on the Pirates Cove Sports Network?
Yeah, no, we're going to be streaming that. So the freshman game is always a tough one for me, because that's the team that I coach in. But I usually try to find a volunteer to go up there and stream the game. You may not get the commentating for that freshman game, but we'll be streaming all 4 games, yes. And you can catch that game on the PCSN.
All right.
Starts at 10 o'clock.
So you heard it there. You'll be able to get that action on the Pirates Cove Sports Network. As always, appreciate what you do there. The other thing I wanted to touch base on, you guys mentioned playing in Dallas. Obviously going to be a fun thing, exciting thing.
Mm-hmm.
While you're there, can you tell Jerry Jones he needs to fire himself as the general manager? It's heartbreaking. It's tough. It's been times where it's been tough being a Pirate fan, but it's really tough being a Cowboy fan, these days.
No.
But no, all joking aside, great job getting it there, getting the ability for these kids to do that and have that type of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we appreciate what you do as the commissioner of all that stuff. So
Appreciate you.
that's Steve Cantu joining us tonight, talking about Rockport youth football. And again, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you more though, Rob. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you too, brother.
Yeah. The love, I'm going to throw up after the broadcast, guys. Apologies. I'm a little nauseated with that. But, as we wrap up the podcast, again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Again, SR Bowl House, Pirate Night, every Wednesday night. Come out and be a part. It's a great environment. They got awesome televisions up. The game's got baseball on one, got NBA on the other. And then, of course, you got us, which, that's better than both of those. Let's just be honest. Not Rob, of course, not Rob. But, we invite you to come out, come have fun with us. It's a family atmosphere. Bring your dog, have some great food. Seafood is terrific. Just a really, really fun place. I want to thank Augie and his staff for what they do in the hospitality that we get here to bring you these broadcasts as a as a sponsor. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up tonight's podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining us. It's been a fun show. We will be bringing you the game live at 7 p.m. from Pirates Stadium. So be loud, be proud, support your Pirates. Sorry, Gabriel. And then obviously be at the Hall of Fame Saturday. Going to be a fun one, second class. And that I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. A lot of great people getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So with that said, I'm going to let Rob send us out. Anything you want to say and then close us out, Rob?
Yeah. So one, show up, be loud, be proud, just like you did. Important district game, right? We win. There's a high probability we're going to make the playoffs. 5 in the district, 4 go, 1 out. So you got to make sure you get some wins when you can get them. I think this is a game we can get. Also going on Friday night, a little matchup between Cuero at Sinton. Go Sinton. Hope they get that W for many reasons I won't get into, but obviously super talented football team on both sides, and should be a really good game. So we'll keep you up to date on that one, and keep driving for these Pirates. Keep pushing them. I think year-over-year improvement has been easily seen across the board, offensively, defensively, special teams, discipline, all of it. Really exciting time to be a Pirate fan and great things to come. Go Pirates.
Yeah, well said. Listen, the future's bright. There's a different attitude, the excitement, everything from the superintendent to the school to our new athletic director, head coach, and Coach Souza. You just feel it. There's an excitement about it. We had the bonfire, on Monday. That was fun. Steve did a great job, by the way, emceeing that. And it was just a lot of fun. There's just a vibe right now that's really excited. Something big is building here in Rockport Fulton, and I don't want it to die out. So I'm asking everybody, invest what you can, as much time, effort, energy, money in some instances, but it takes a community to build a program that we can be proud of, that's competitive year in and year out, not the roller coaster programs that you've seen in the past. Everybody's got to be on board. Everybody's got to be pushing and pulling the same direction. And we can take this to the next level where Rockport is the premier program in South Texas, which is where we're going to go. So with that said, I thank you guys again for what you do. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, donate, sponsor. Come be a part of what we're doing here with the Pirates Cove Sports Network. With that being said, thank y'all. Go Pirates. Let's go.
Go Pirates.
Go Pirates.